Okay, Sovereign, we're looking at your replay here. Follow up to your last session. My main focus I heard from your last session was when you got like booted out of your lane by your teammates, and we've been talking a lot about just playing your part of the map after like winning your lane as best you can. And you said you haven't really had any tough games, so you feel like you're applying what we've learned, so let's check it out. Nice, keeping the lane outside of tower. So when you know the lane's pushing into you like this, meaning, so you pulled the lane, there's no other enemy creeps, you actually want to start auto-attacking the high HP creeps, like right now, so that when this happens, you don't get a double wave against you, because you want the lane to only be slightly pushing into you, not, like, really hard pushing into you. You want to be able to, like, maintain it in front of your tower. That's a little thing to do. So yeah, the lane's pretty much consistently pushing into you pretty hard, and it's really hurting your aggression potential. So I want you to know that you want the lane slightly pushing into you, but nothing more. So that's like like you're doing a great job generally with lane equilibrium, but make it so it's only slightly pushing into you. Okay, good instinct to go check the small camp there. I was hoping I'd see that. Yeah, I think you're doing a much better job of, like, using your spells only when you're going to be aggressive and then backing off after, like, it no longer looks good. I think overall you're doing just... It looks like it's more calculated than it was before. If I were you, I'd probably just stick, personally. Maybe your idea was to bait, but usually when I have 20, I want to make it so I get more stacks from the previous ones. But that was nice. I like this. Replenishing your resources. Auto-attacking the wave forward, and then looking to connect. So because you have a catapult, I would not just let this go. So, like, when right here, I'm actually going to start ulting right now. Because you have a catapult coming. Where is it? Where is the catapult? It's in here somewhere. Where's the catapult? I literally just saw it. Am I crazy? Oh, it's like invisible or... Oh, no, it's like a different cosmetic. I don't know what's happening. But so, for here, because you have a catapult, this is an immense opportunity to pressure them, and you drag... We actually talked about this. You dragging the wave and just letting it go under tower like this. We actually talked about this. So Shaman's half HP, 0 mana, and you have level 6, and instead of, like, cutting the wave in order to dive him, you're just pulling it away and letting him fully, like, freely farm it under tower. So this is the same thing. So I guess I'm just mainly thinking, like, what can we do? It's okay if you're still learning, but, like, what can we do to make that happen? You missed your opportunity to be aggressive, and then you got ganked afterwards, which it happens. Oof. Nice ward trap by Shaman there. Yeah, earlier he was really low with no mana and no ults. And then you didn't dive him, and then you did dive him without it. So, or like when he did have mana and he did have ult. So I think your perception of when to dive is not rooted in, like, abilities and cooldowns and stuff. Like, I'm not sure what it's rooted in. We just need to calibrate it a little bit better. So, like, this is an example where they had used their spells on you before, so, and you had ulti, so it naturally makes sense to go. This time you want to force reactions but back off because you didn't have ult, which is good. Then you went back in. Okay, but then Lesh is here. Very good. Very nice. This is great. Yep. Cleaning up those shaman wards. I like your choice to go for the wraps in a game like this. You did feel like there was... I'm imagining you felt like there were a lot of heroes in your lane. Double salve to stay on the map, Poggers. Yeah, honestly, you're doing great, man. This is exactly what we're looking for. Like, that double salve was pretty cool. That's sick. Yeah, you're owning. It looks so simple. Like, you're not really making many moves or anything, but that's, like, what we try to get you to do. I think the only issue there was that you did the double salve earlier, and then you didn't do it this time, and you stayed on the map. So I think that's, like, an example of you would want to have reset your health and mana after the first fight. So you can, like, farm your way back to base and then TP back out on the map rather than staying permanently. I think that's just the next step for you is resetting your resources. Like, the double salve is fine, but I think you can't, like, do it again, really. Like, you can't just double salve again. I mean, you could, but just, like, not staying on the map again. Poggers. Wow. So this is an example where you need to farm your way back to base now. It's really important that you, like, your immediate play is to, like, run like this. And, like, go, like, just farm back to base and reset your resources. It's really important. So if you end up going base here, then we're, like, super excited. Nice. Okay. Up. Okay, that's a bit greedy, I'd say, but it's fine. I don't hate it. I'd say it's greedy because even though you're working on a BKB timing, you are pretty strong and your team is looking to fight. So, like, for me, I'm not, like, the way the game's been playing out, you don't need a timing, right? BKB's nice. It's fine to get it. But, like, I have ulti, and I'm, like, ready to fucking go. And, like, every second I spend not ready to fucking go when I could be ready to fucking go is just potentially bad things happening. So, like, I would have skipped these two camps on the way back to base here. I wouldn't have farmed these two camps. And then I would have just went to my team right now. Like, I would have just gone with them as soon as possible. So I TP mid right now. Proactively fighting with them because I am really strong. Yeah. Basically, past 20 minutes, the idea is to be able to be S5 as often as possible. And in a game like this, you can't really afford to connect late because they have Lion, Shaman, Tusk. Like, you know, the Drow will die before you get there. Okay. But I definitely want you to connect to your team here. Or run... I would have wanted you to connect to your team there. But your team connected to you, so it worked out. That's great. So the natural progression of things is we got you to stay in your own lane, and you're, like, fucking farmed as fuck. I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, you're #1 net worth. This means that the first 15 minutes is, like, mwah, beautiful. So the next step is how do we spill that onto the rest of the map properly? That's just the next step. So, you know, being strong and then making sure you're with your team when you are strong past, like, 15 minutes, that's really powerful. But honestly, like, the improvement's clearly there. That's great. I hope it's being felt in the result of your games. Once you're in fights, fantastic. Good execution there. I would not be hitting this high ground. For me, this type of high ground push is just unnecessary. So, like, you guys win this fight, and you can just back. Like, they're dead as 3, but, like, look at your resources. Just farm backwards. If I'm you, I, like, walk over here and farm these camps and go backwards. Hit my next timing. Don't have ult. You don't really have real pushers. Like, you have Lesh, kind of. Like, you could argue maybe Lesh is supposed to be here, but Lesh pretty clearly isn't wanting to be here. Yeah. Okay, you end up walking away eventually. Why aren't we walking away? Where are we going? Where are we going right now? What's the plan? This is awkward as fuck. This is incredibly inefficient. We don't have Aegis or anything, do we? Yeah, this is, like, incredibly inefficient. So, like, I would have wanted you to win this fight and play for map, like we always talk about. Like, we always talk about playing for map, not hitting buildings. So you win the fight, you kill these guys, you walk across like this, you're playing this area, you push in this wave. Maybe if they push it out, you push in this one. You probably go like this. You're playing map. Next item, you hit your Mjolnir. Maybe you reconnect to your team at that point when you have BKB again. I'm just looking at basically an extra minute and a half that you're with your team that you don't need to be. Like, that's just what I'm seeing. Yeah, so you walk away from your team eventually to boot that guy out, but then they die, it looks like. Yeah. So basically, you TP'd away from your team because earlier you didn't walk away from your team. I need you to understand that the need to TP here is because at 28 minutes, instead of going like this, you stayed over here with your team when you weren't strong, so that when you were strong, you had to TP away from your team. That's the connection I need you to draw. So this is probably the next step for you. Is walk away. We'll go to base when you're not when you died at like 15 minutes and you weren't like full HP. Go back to base to do your job again. And then, you know, in these cases, when you're weak away from fights, you need to walk away from your team, play the map, such that when you're strong again, you can go back to your team. Whenever you walk away from creep waves, please farm them. So this is an example of you clear this wave. And then it's 33 minutes right now. So I would want you to, because you have teammates nearby, I want you to like static, whatever it's called, plasma field this wave. This one over here. Even if you don't kill the wave, just like plasma to cut it off. I cut the wave. This is incredibly, yeah, I hate this. I hate it so much. Looks like it's gonna work though. Yeah. So for me, what I would have done here, just so we can clarify, is that we get the Aegis. And what I'm going to do with this Aegis right now is I'm going to say, hey guys, I'm going to go do this. Like, I'm going to push this wave, go through the gate, pop out down here, push this, and then my team's going to connect to me. Basically, push all 3 waves in, and then go high ground. It's generally just statistically better than what you did here, but it does have the risk of, like, this miscoordination. So, honestly, maybe for you, it's just better to just push high ground. The enemy doesn't really have, like, towered push defense. They only have kills heroes. So, in the end of the day, maybe it's just easier to walk at their high ground. Generally, that's not the optimal play, but you guys are way stronger than them. And I think that the way I suggested it is better at higher levels, but maybe for you, getting your team coordinated on that maybe isn't worth it, honestly. So don't worry too much about that feedback, I would say. Just know that after Roche, oftentimes we want to fix 3 lanes if possible. And since you are so strong, it definitely is possible. Where you do pretty much the exact same move, but you push the high ground maybe 45 seconds later. But overall, man, I mean, the main thing I was looking for is that first 15 minutes. For the last, like, 2 months, that's been the main focus, where, you know, we talked about you doing it yourself. We talked about the item build you're going for. I think seeing you go for the Falcon Blades into Consecrated, into serving like a bait, and then into Maelstrom, like, honestly, it's really sick to watch. I'm, like, really happy with the progression you've made, because you talked about going Maelstrom in a lot of your games, and we talked about the potential drawbacks of it, and I do think you correctly identified that you need to be tankier this game. So I think that's really cool that you're adjusting and coming to your own there, and I think it's great, man. So, very good.